like to call to order the Liberal City Commission for this Tuesday, December 29th. May we have roll call, please?
Mayor Denoyer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Aragon.
Here.
Commissioner Harrison.
Here.
Commissioner Carlisle.
Here.
And Commissioner Martinez.
Here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
All right, will you please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, Lord God, we just thank you, Lord, that we had missed the majority of the Snowmageddon that was supposed to come here. Lord, we pray for those that were affected and those that lost lives. Father, we are blessed by the moisture that we have received this year, and Lord, we ask for a continued blessing in that direction. Father, just watch over us as we wrap up 2015 and jump into 2016. Lord, give us the wisdom that we need to make the decisions to carry our city into the future. It's in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen. Amen. All right, our first item on the agenda tonight is awards, proclamations, and presentations. We do have some retirement awards that our HR Director, Sheena Smuts, will now read for us.
Mayor and Commissioners, we had 2 employees who retired from the City of Liberal on December 26th. Due to the meeting being pushed back a week, they've already received their plaques and their retirement gift from the city. But we still would like to acknowledge them. The first retiree is Reginaldo Diaz de Leon. He retired from the City of Liberal after 17 years of service. He was known as Reggie by his colleagues and was a light equipment operator in the street department. The second retiree, Paul Phillips, retired from the City of Liberal after 31 years of service. Paul was also a light equipment operator in the street department. A retirement reception was held on Tuesday, December 22nd to honor both of these employees. Both Reggie and Paul have an unwavering dedication and devotion to the City of Liberal. Their contribution to the city is far-reaching, and we at the City of Liberal would like to express our gratitude to both Reggie and Paul for their contributions to this organization and to our community. Congratulations, Reggie and Paul, on your retirements.
Thank you, Sheena. And they are now in sunny Mexico, enjoying the beach. So, next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. A motion to approve the agenda.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any discussion on the agenda? All those in
The only thing
favor?
that needs to change, sir, is the item 3 for the minutes. That needs to be the December 8th meeting instead of the November 24th. I just see an error on the agenda. I'm sorry.
8th, 2015.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All right, same motion, same second. Any questions? All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes as corrected with the December 8th regular meeting minutes. Any additions or corrections to those minutes? Seeing none, I'd ask for a motion to approve as presented.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the November 24th, 2015 regular meeting. I'll second that.
Yeah, we need
December 8th, I'm sorry. Right. December 8th.
A motion.
Second.
Jack was second. Motion by Vice Mayor Aragon, a second by Commissioner Carlisle. And all those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next item is items from citizens. Are there any citizens in the audience that would like to address the commission on non-agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on to items from groups. Are there any groups in the audience? And a group of 1. Rules of the commission. Any group desiring to address the commission shall be recognized by the chair and advance to the podium, state his or her name and address in an audible tone for the record. Presentation shall be limited to 5 minutes unless extended by a vote of the majority of the commission. The commission does not hear matters involving litigation or personnel. The commission does not take action on items not on the agenda unless unusual or hardship conditions exist. Groups may address the commission on agenda items as they're brought to the floor. Please state your name and address and the name of your group for the record.
Roselle Webb, 4 Rock Island Road in Liberal. That's not where I live, but that's where I'm there most of the time. Chamber of Commerce Director. I come tonight for 2 reasons. One is to thank the city for help again with our Santa House. The Santa House has a lot of children that go through it on the weekends, and we really appreciate what the city does they've provided us with the Santa house for starts because our other Santa house burned down. And they also, the firemen are very good to bring it and set it up for us during the parade and then move it across the street to the fountain for the rest of the month. So I just want to let you all know that we really appreciate that. Couldn't do it without you. And I'm sure the children all appreciate having Santa there. So thank you very much for that. Also, I want to invite you all to come to the Night Out in Topeka, which is going to be held January 25th, and it is in Topeka. And we have a reception. This is sponsored by the Southwest Kansas Chambers, which Liberal is a part of, and we have a reception for the all the Kansas legislators. And we have a good crowd of them come and visit. And so if you have issues you'd like to speak with legislators from across Kansas, that's a good time to do it. So we invite you to come. It's 5 to 8. There is food involved. There is no charge. And all I ask is that you call the chamber. The number here is the Dodge Chamber, but if you will call me, that would be wonderful. If you can make it, we would really like to have you come. So that's all I have tonight.
All right, thank you, Roselle.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, next item on the agenda is a consent agenda, agenda item number 6. All items are considered to be routine by the City Commission, will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a commission member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. 2 parts, 6A, acknowledgement and receipt of minutes from the Liberal Housing Authority and the Liberal Memorial Library, and 6B, approval of cereal malt beverage license for several locations throughout the city.
I'd like to pull A, number 1 out of, if you would, please. Make a motion on that.
Okay. On the Liberal Housing Authority?
Yes.
All right. So we will pull that. Do we want discussion on that item now, or do we want to approve the others first?
We can have a discussion. You got Jennifer Malin as an unexpired term. Is that a misprint, or is he actually on there for unexpired term? Because I've never heard of that before.
Is she filling an unexpired term?
Yeah, she is filling an unexpired term. Where are you seeing that, sir?
At the very top, board members. Service on board. Meetings held, meetings attended, term unexpired.
Oh, no, library board.
That's the library. Okay.
Unexpired.
Oh, I don't think they understand what that means. She's filling an unexpired term, so that's not really counting as a first or second term. She's filling that term, and then she's eligible to be reappointed for 2 full terms.
Okay. We can put it back in.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Carlisle.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion on the consent agenda? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next item is agenda item number 7, which will be the final reading of ordinance 4462, which will adopt the 2015 standard traffic ordinances.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we approve the final reading of ordinance number 4462, adopting the 2015 standard traffic ordinance.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item number 8 will be the final reading of ordinance 4463, which would adopt the 2016 Uniform Public Offense Codes. We've had a first reading on these. This is the second reading.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion, we do the final reading of ordinance number 4463, adopting the 2016 Uniform Public Offense Code.
Motion by Commissioner Carlisle, second by Commissioner Harrison. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Next item on the agenda is the agenda item number 9, which will be the first and final reading of ordinance 4464, which would amend the 2015 fiscal year budget. Mr. Ford.
Honored Commissioners, Mayor DeMoyer has signed the letter waiving the first reading and making this the final reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. You have before you tonight for your consideration the first and final reading of ordinance number 4464, which would amend our 2015 fiscal year budget. There are 3 funds there that we are proposing tonight to be amended. We do have sufficient revenues. However, we do need to address the expenditure levels for these. And the first one is the debt service fund, which we would recommend amending the budget to $1,215,000 from $1,175,000. If you remember, a few commission meetings ago, we did refinance one of our general obligation bonds. And the second item is the 1 cent sales tax. This amendment would be required to account for the multifamily housing incentive program that we did in the economic development portion and the animal shelter expansion project that we did in the crime prevention fund. Right. And the third one is the wastewater utility. And basically that's amending from, the amended amount would be $2,767,000 that the original budget was $2,232,000, and that's just to account for reimbursement of prior year expenditures by the wastewater MVP fund to the wastewater fund. And so with that, I would be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, I would request commission consideration for the first and final reading of this ordinance.
Does the commission have any questions for Mr. Ford on these transfers?
On the number one, the 40,000, isn't that what we were paying that gentleman to do the refinancing of the bonds? Or the one bond?
For the debt service item, Chris?
Well, that one would, I believe that could be part of that, yes.
And on number 2, the city 1 cent sales tax on the dog runs, 440,000. I thought that we already had that money in the bank, already in the budget.
Right. The money was in the fund, and it was within the budget. However, I mean, the money was in the fund. However, this would actually bring the budget authority amount to correct.
Okay.
Any further questions for Mr. Ford? None. I'd call for a motion to adopt the first and final reading of ordinance 4464, which would amend the 2015 fiscal year budget.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison.
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Next item will be agenda item number 10, which will be the fiscal year 2015 transfers. Mr. Ford, once again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commissioners, before you tonight on this agenda item are several fiscal year 2015 transfers that staff would recommend. Sufficient budget authority does exist for these, and they do affect various funds. And I've outlined the fund that they're coming from and the fund that they would be transferred to. And I would be happy to answer any questions.
Commissioner, have any questions for Mr. Ford on these transfers?
On one of them down, you got fund pool. What was that?
That was the
3, 4.
reconstruction, painting, and repairs to the pool that were approved when we went to get bids prior to the pool opening, of repairs that were needed to be made.
This was the cement project and the painting of that cement and all that.
All the
reconstruction work. Okay.
The items,
Refurbishing
the slides, the ship.
Just a real quick question also. So it's a minimal amount of $1755 Mahuron Park project. What have we done there? Is that playground equipment?
Just sign your name on all 3 copies.
Those are just expenses that we've incurred in the capital project fund for the Mahuron Park that, and I'm sorry, I don't have an answer of exactly what those expenses were, but
Okay.
I'd be happy to get that information for you.
Could be upgrades to the building or whatever. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
On our Kalen, you have equipment reserve. Is that to buy more equipment or?
Yes, that would be for future equipment purchases.
We have a tractor and a mower that we're going to need fairly soon, so we just have to transfer that money into the equipment reserve fund until such time.
Is that going to be enough to do your tractor and your mower?
No. But we're going to put money again in 16 over to that to get it. We may have.
Well, my understanding when we was doing the budget is that a whole bunch of departments was wanting mowers.
Right.
Now, I think I made a comment, we ought to look at maybe buying the tractor at the same time we're buying the mowers, because, one price gets a better deal. You buy them all at one time.
Well, and we can still look at that. We do have a general non-designated equipment reserve that could help assist should that situation occur.
I might just suggest that I've watched staff do this for a long time, and they'll beat a dead horse to death to get the best deal they can get. If it means buying all of it at once, they'll do that.
Any other questions on the transfers? All right, seeing none, call for the motion to approve the fiscal year 2015 transfers as
I
presented.
make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2015 transfer.
Motion by Commissioner Carlisle, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Martinez. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? The motion carries 5-0. Next item will be the reclassification of delinquent accounts receivable and utility accounts. Mr. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commissioners, tonight we are seeking your approval to reclassify accounts receivable and utility account delinquencies that are over 120 days past due. This is a housekeeping issue. Technically, per the financial statements, they're not quality assets. However, should we remove these, we do not forget about them. We occasionally will collect up at the water counter for somebody that moved away several years ago, and they come back and, we've offered to gladly reestablish the water account if they pay their past balance plus the connection fee, and they're kind of surprised that we remembered. But, and essentially, we last reclassified delinquent accounts as of December 23rd of 2014, excuse me. Tonight, requesting a total of $30,777.09, which is comprised $1,930 of accounts receivable, $10,663.65 of water sales, $9,049.18 of sewer sales, and $9,134.26 of refuse. And as I stated before, if we remove these, we do remember them in the future and catch the ones that are possible. And with the utilities, we do send these to the State of Kansas Utility Set-Off Program. And we do have had good luck with those. And for the accounts receivable amounts, any amounts that are able to, we do assess those over at Seward County on property taxes.
So even though we're reclassifying, you still aggressively pursue them?
Yes, sir. And regarding the utilities, we had total sales of $6,438,324 of sales. The delinquency amount total is $28,847.09, and that would equal a delinquent percentage rate of 0.448%. That's less than 0.5%. So we do feel like staff does a good job of working these and collecting them and so on. And so I guess with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, I would request commission consideration to approve this reclassification.
Any questions for staff? I remember, this is even lower than last year's, I believe. Wasn't last year around 0.5?
Yeah, 0.5.
0.5, so you guys are doing a good job.
I'm going to make a motion that we approve the reclassification of delinquent accounts receivable and utility accounts over 120 days past due in the amount of $30,777.09.
Motion by Vice Mayor Aragon. We have a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Harrison. Any further discussion on the reclassification? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Next item will be an update from
thank
the Police Department on the My Police Department app. Lieutenant Ratzlaff.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, for letting me come back, talk to you about the app that we do have. It is up and running, and as of today, I just checked it about an hour ago. We have 106 total downloads since the 1st of December. So we are getting the ball rolling. We're doing some good things. We've got one tip that has come in as of now from it. We're still working that. We still working all the kinks out a little bit, but it's working well. We've been happy with the tests that we've run. The people that have it say that it's very user-friendly. So I just wanted to touch base with you guys. When I was here before, I was asked to come back and tell you what we decided to use with the app, because it did have over 40 features that I didn't know which ones we were going to use at the time. So please stop me, ask me any questions. If there's something that comes up, you want to know how it works specifically, I've got it in my pocket. I'll be happy to pull it up and show you exactly how to do it. But it starts off with, you go to your app store, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, and you just search for My Police Department. At that point, it'll come up. You'll select that you want the United States, you're looking for Kansas, and you're looking for Liberal. And that'll be our page. Once you open it up, you register everything. Every time you open the app, at that point, it will open straight up to Liberal's page. You don't have to do that ever again. People have asked me, well, I don't want to register because we want to stay anonymous. We don't want to send you all our information. That registration, I get no names, I get nothing from it. All it tells me is that you're male or female, how you got the information about the app, and your age range. That way I can say this is the target group that we need to go after to promote it more, so that we can get the best use out of the app itself. Once you get into the app, the first thing you'll see is you'll be able to contact any person in the police department. You'll have their phone numbers, office phone numbers, of course, and their email addresses. That's for all direct supervisors, and also the patrol supervisors, sergeants, and corporals are on there. There's also the main phone number for the police department on there, so you can just click those buttons, automatically we'll call the police department. Then there's the submit to tip, which was the best feature that we were really trying to get to. Again, that can stay anonymous. They type in, there's a drop-down menu. They can say, this is the topic that I want to submit a tip about. They type in what their tip is. That will go directly to the supervisor in charge of whatever topic they chose. If it's a drug tip, it'll go to the investigations. If it's a parking complaint, then it'll go to the patrol supervisors. If it's something about gangs, then it goes to the appropriate place. That way we're not trying to get one person and then get everything filtered out to the right people. It's going where it needs to go directly. If they choose not to stay anonymous with that, we can actually converse back and forth with them at that point. We can email them back if they leave their phone number, we can call them, then we can get more information to try to build a better case in the future. After that, there's also ask a question. Again, it's a drop-down menu. That way, if they've got a question for school resource officers about bullying in the schools, it goes straight to them instead of somebody back in investigations who doesn't deal with the schools and wouldn't know that answer. Commandant officer, those go directly to the supervisor of whatever division they chose, whether it be patrol, investigations, supervisor, and then the chief also gets all of those as well. You can get directions to drive directly to the police department. No matter where you're at, you hit that, it'll pull up Google Maps and bring you straight up to the police department's front door. I tried it, it worked, it knew where we were at, so I was pretty happy with that. Also, you can check our most wanted page from our website with just the click of a button on the app. It'll go directly to that. Also, with the different links, it will go to the National Terror Advisory System, the National Weather Service, FEMA, and also the Leader and Times newspaper for any press releases that we may put out. It also has a link to our Facebook and our Twitter so that people can go to our page, see what we've been doing, see what they can do. Also, they can go to our Facebook and Twitter page and do all the same stuff from there directly. It has a tab on the left side of the page. You click that and you can do it all from your computer itself, or download the app as well from those two pages. Let's see, where am I at here? It also has a link to the Victims' Rights Services and the available services here in town. That way, if we do have somebody that's a victim of any type of crime, they can click on that link, they can find out what their rights are before court, different services available such as the Liberal Area Rape Crisis Domestic Violence Center, things along those lines, so they can get more information on where they need to go to receive that help. Also, Amber Alerts and the missing children in Kansas, that is linked there as well. You can receive those alerts automatically. And also our bus route information. They can actually click on there and see what time the buses are running, where they can go to get to the bus stops, things along those lines. All of this can, like I said, can be done from the computer itself as well, from your Facebook or the Twitter page, or go to mypolicedepartment.org and it's all right there. So it's working great. I've been really excited about it, what I've played with. Like I said, we've got 106 people have downloaded it. We're kind of fluctuating right now. We're on a lower side of it, but we're starting to come back up too. So any questions?
Does the tip hotline connect directly with Crime Stoppers and the where they can receive a fee for?
Right now, we don't have actual Crime Stoppers itself. We do have our awards program.
Right.
We've talked about that. If they stay anonymous, there is no way for us to figure out who that tip was.
Right.
If they're not anonymous, then yes, it will fall under that same criteria.
Any other questions for Lieutenant Ratzlaff?
Good job.
Thank you.
This item doesn't need action, so thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Might need you. I'm sitting
The
there
only
trying to
action-
download this thing, so you know.
The only action needed is for the commission to download this. So
Need any help with that? I'll gladly show you how to do that too. So
I'll
thank you guys.
have my 5-year-old help me. Next item up on the agenda is agenda item number 13, which is the 2016 housing programs. Karen?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. The programs that we have had for a while and we've tweaked over the years, presenting tonight to you, and I do have at least one change that I would like to make. The new construction single-family housing incentive, it's a homeowner incentive for $5,000 or $5,000 for a speculative home. And this we changed a couple of years ago and has been working, I think, the way it is now. The second program is the first-time homebuyer program for $2,500 down payment assistance. Soft mortgage is placed on the property. We've used all the money for the program. We had a couple cancel this year. I think we've used almost all of the budget. The figures may change if there's another cancellation.
Might mention Karen's, the original, I believe, was 60,000 that we started with that program.
Yes.
Yes.
And that has evolved. We went to 90 and then we've gone to 120. So
And we
the
went
program
through,
has really worked well.
we went through the whole year funded this year, so that was a good thing. So we're glad to be starting that over if that's approved. We did pay out all the funds, but like I said, if there is some cancellations, that could change after the end of the year.
So that means 48 homeowners, first-time homeowners have bought homes here in Liberal.
Yes. And had classes to do that
And that
also.
classes, yes, there is a requirement to the program, yes.
The Safe at Home program, I did put, we were requesting 50 smoke alarms and 50 carbon monoxide detectors, but I would like to change that to 100 each because we are completely out at this point. And the fire department does a good job of helping us with that.
I did talk to Fire Inspector Regier yesterday, and in the Christmas Eve fire, it could have been more tragic because there was no carbon monoxide detector. So this this is an excellent program. We just need to continue to get the word out for folks to take advantage of it. But they were able to get the occupants out before anything else worse could have happened. So I'm glad that we've implemented this program over the years and continue to fund it.
We have given out hundreds between the City Hall and the North Fire Station. We give out quite a few, and I know the firefighters are happy to assist people if they need it.
They'll even put them up for them if they need to.
Karen, what was the change you recommended here?
200.
100 of each.
100 of each, okay.
And will that increase the budget, or will
No.
it stay at 12?
It'll stay. It's always
Okay.
under. We don't usually go over on that one. The senior housing opportunities, and what I have down here is what we've used for this year. And like I said, the amounts may change depending on the invoices when they come in. So that just gives you an idea of that we are using the funds for the program for the senior citizens. And we have, over the years, helped hundreds of senior citizens that really need help. And I think it helps our housing stock also.
How'd that work out for you, Dave?
I remember that, Joe.
And our Paint the Town program, we had a very busy year since we opened up to the income limits. We did have a lot of people pick up applications or fill out applications, but then not go get the paint. So it was 65 actually, I think, that were funded. And that was the only change recommended was on the Safe at Home program. Everything I think is going pretty well.
Your Honor, I'd make a motion to approve the 2016 housing programs as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison. Do I have a second? Second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion on these programs as presented? Seeing none, call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Karen.
Thanks, Karen.
Next item up on the agenda is agenda item number 14, which will be the 2016 Economic Development Programs.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, in your packet is a description of the 2016 Economic Development Programs that we're proposing, although just looking at the list again this morning, I noticed it says 2015, so forgive my typo. Really, there's no big changes, or actually no changes in what we're proposing to do. Just to go down this list quick, the Economic Incentive Program, our Industrial Park Incentive Program has a proposed budget of $50,000, and that will help with businesses locating within the boundaries of our two industrial parks, one at the airport, one on the east end of town. For businesses with a minimum of 20 new jobs, that would provide $500 for each new job created over a 3-year period. Our downtown revitalization programs, the office relocation, and the building conversion grant. With the office relocation, it's a 50-50 matching grant up to $1,500 for it will be for an office type use, moving into the downtown area, not retail, but an office use if they need to rewire, put those kind of changes, physical changes to the building. That will help with that. The conversion grant essentially will go from if it changes from one use to another, up to $5,000 of matching funds to help change the use of a downtown business, and that would be within the downtown benefit district. Budgets each of $15,000 for each of those programs. Our retention program, the facade program, which has probably been one of the more successful programs over the years, no changes there. It's a 50-50 matching grant of up to $5,000 for any business that wants to make permanent improvements to the facade of their building. In other words, the face of the building that faces the street, again in that downtown benefit district, along with Kansas Avenue, from 11th Street down to Pine and, to Trail Street, or forget the name of the street now, it's escaped me.
Yes, I believe it.
And then all of 54, yeah, includes Washington Streets and Lincoln Streets too. We expanded that a few years ago. Our marketing program, which allows us to fund marketing ventures. In the past, it's done things like our website. It's done some modifications to the website over the years, along with funding organizations like Retail Strategies. We have a budget of $50,000 for that. And then our biggest program, which would be the new construction multifamily housing incentive program, with a budget this year, like last year, of $300,000. The idea would be to fund 100 units, $3,000 per unit per year. This would be our second year. Last year we funded 50 units for a total of $150,000. That other 150 will roll over, giving us a balance this year of $450,000 that we're able to use. And then next year, hopefully, we'll do another $300,000 for another 100 units. Anyway, those are our stated programming. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to try and answer them if I could.
I want to bounce back to the facade program. I thought we incorporated like 54 Highway on that.
54 Highway from one end to the other.
They didn't state that in there, but.
Well, what about from Pine Street north? Is that on?
Yes, yeah, it runs essentially from 11th Street to Pine Street.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, that's not what
it actually goes south of Pine.
Yeah.
I forget, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on the name of the street that it runs. It runs south of Pine Street.
We're all on the same page.
Yeah.
I was just kind of concerned about
Yeah.
that. And then also the multi-family housing incentive. I operate under the belief that if somebody shows up with a project, and we can discuss tweaking that amount if we want to.
It's, in fact, all incentive programs are Karen's and yours. It's all been written in, subject to commission approval.
Right. What I'm suggesting is if someone showed up with a large enough project, we might entertain the thought of
Increasing that per unit.
Yeah. So
I would be in favor of that.
yeah, but as far as the program, the way you presented it, I don't have a problem with it. So I would make a motion to approve the 2016 Economic Development Programs as presented.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? I like that idea of budgeting the 300,000 plus the carryover and then looking at it on a case-by-case basis. If they bring a large enough project, I would be willing to look at that per unit price and even if
The main thing, Joe, I think, and you know, I think we're on the same page here, is if at some point we do change it for a project, it's available to everybody.
It's available to
in the fiscal
everybody,
year,
and
so,
if
until the money runs out.
If the commission decides to up it to 5,000 for 100 units, hey, let's do it. But we need to, keep the cap where it's at.
Yeah.
But we have seen also in the housing program, the first-time home buyers, where we've increased that budget also throughout the year. So if we do expend the 450 this year, we could actually add more money to that program to keep it viable.
That would be great.
Any other discussion?
I have a question, Jeff. That Retail Strategies, is that a year-to-year contract?
Yes. We've spent, it was sort of front-loaded, with the larger amount being the first year and then smaller amounts for the second and third year. We're on our second year of our relationship with them, and so it'll be a smaller amount again this year. We wouldn't bring it to you for renewal.
Okay.
In a few months anyway.
Yes.
How has he done with this retail strategy?
I've been really pleased with them. They are engaged nearly on a daily basis with developers, with retailers. I had multiple contacts with them last week alone, talking to national retail chain who's expressed at least some interest in Liberal. They run down information, they talk to developers, I've been very pleased with what they've done.
And,
Has anything come to Liberal because of them?
I can't say they have yet, but they're certainly not doing nothing. It's retail is not a speedy process at all.
I sicked you on Billy Sims Barbecue this afternoon.
Yep, I already forwarded the information, so.
Billy Sims Barbecue is looking to relocate, open up 10 new stores this year, and Kansas is one of their sites that they're looking at. So.
I tried that in Dodge, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. And so, any further discussion? I just want to add one more thing on agenda item 13 and 14. We just need to continue to push to get the word out that these programs are available, whether it's a housing program, housing incentive, facade, paint the town. I've had people come to me and say, well, I didn't know that was available. So we need to figure out how to get the word out. Facebook is great, but only if you're a friend of the city.
Right.
You've liked our page, or if you've purposely gone onto our website. So we just have to continue to press. We've got to blow our own horn, or people won't know that these are available. So
I'd love to come on your radio program.
we can make that happen. How about tomorrow? No. Tracy Gutierrez would be upset with me. So anyway, any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Jeff.
My pleasure.
Next item up on the agenda will be the JEDC board appointment. Mr. Parsons, once again.
Mayor, Commissioners, put before you an appointment for JEDC. If you recall, our JEDC appointments rotate each year, with each new appointment being for a 3-year term. The city has 3 members that we appoint, 1 per year. The county has an equal number. And then the chamber has 1 representative that they appoint on an annual basis. So we have for our opening this year, Norma Jean Dodge. Her term expires at the end of the year. She's expressed an interest in staying a member of JEDC. Norma Jean has been an excellent participant on the council and is a regular attendee. Never misses a meeting. Good input. And she's also, she works at the college, and so to me that's a great, she provides a great point of contact with the community college with economic development, and that's been a good source of feedback back and forth on that. So I would love it if you would approve another 3-year term for Norma Jean Dodge.
Well, one good thing about her, she's with business and industry, and she oversees Michael Cain's program as well. So there is a tie in there.
Question. Showing she's vice president of the Garden City Area Chamber of Commerce.
She was.
She's been.
According to this, she is.
Well, you can blame her for that. I didn't.
2016.
No, she was vice president of the Garden City Chamber before they moved to Liberal.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the appointment of Norma Jean Dodge for a 3-year term.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Commissioner Carlisle. Any further discussion on the appointment of Norma Jean Dodge to the JEDC board? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, Commissioners. Appreciate it.
Happy New Year.
Thanks. You too.
Next item up on the agenda is agenda item number 16, which is the cemetery irrigation automation. Mr. Beer.
It's cold at the back of the room. Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, in your packets is a copy of 2 quotes received for the cemetery irrigation automation project that was budgeted for 2015. It never got done in 15, so we're requesting to go ahead and get it taken care of in this calendar year. And if it's approved, in the morning, we're going to get a purchase order, get it ordered, and get it here and start working on it as weather allows us to do this project.
Now, will you be doing this in-house?
Yes.
Purchasing the supplies from either one of these companies?
Right.
Any questions from Mr. Beer on the cemetery irrigation automation project?
What's the difference between the quality of the two different types? Parts.
They're actually, all the equipment's the same. Hunter valves, Hunter timers, everything's apples to apples.
Okay.
Other than
And there was a considerable difference in the two companies. The hire company just they switched owners. And I don't know if that had anything to do with it. It used to be John Deere Landscape out of Wichita, and they've switched and been bought by another company.
We've done some business with those folks before.
Yeah, and this HD Supply, the water department buys a lot of stuff from them.
Is this HD out of Garden City?
It's actually out of McPherson, I think, yeah. I didn't even know that they did this type of stuff, and then Cal was telling me about it, so I got with him, and the guy visited with me, and
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the purchase or the encumbrance of funds for the cemetery irrigation automation project as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Harrison with a second by Vice Mayor Aragon. Any further discussion? There's a slight difference in the gauge of wire. That shouldn't matter from 12 gauge to 14 gauge, not probably $2,000 worth, right?
well, the gauge that HD's giving me is heavier wire.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my question, too.
It goes backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lower the number, the heavier the wire it is.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Now I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item up on the agenda is the city manager's report. Mr. Hall.
Mayor, Commissioners, I would like to just thank staff for such a great year. A lot of things were accomplished and obstacles overcome, and I just appreciate all their hard work and what they did. As you're aware of, the budget process, in that they've done fantastic things to make the city of Liberal come through these economic times on top. And we do see a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's been through their hard work and seeking the best price with quality. But I just want to thank them for all that they've done. Every department, every individual is important to making this work. So that's all I have.
All right. Any questions for the city manager? Just real quick, I know the ball fields are still a work in progress. How are we doing? I know inclement weather and...
Yeah, we'll be ready for the season. The project will finish and we'll close it out. There's basically some landscaping issues. It was one of those that we had the nets up, and instead of putting the last one up, we're going to put that up when it's ready to go. But everything's ready to go to start the season, the kids and
concession stands, all that ready to go.
February, the end of February, 1st of March, roughly, we'll start the high school season. And we have those fields ready for those. And then probably middle of April is when Cal Rip will start. So we'll have everything ready for them to play and go.
Were we still looking at a bridge to cross that canal?
That's what, right now, it's something that we're looking at. We've had a lot of water and a lot of issues change. That's our intent in the future, to have that where they can cross over the baseball.
Okay.
Baseball will go from one to the other.
All right. That's all that I have. Any other questions for the city manager? Seeing none, move on to items from commissioners. Vice Mayor Aragon.
Like Mark said, I'd like to thank the staff. Had a really good year. They've done a lot of good things, all different departments. Everything with the ball fields, with the city, with the snow removal when we had it. Thank God we didn't have it this last time, but I know they were prepared. We were talking about it before when it got here with some of the city crew, and they were ready. I think they do a wonderful job with the budget, with everything. I'm always excited when we hear when they have budgeted items and they talk about using everything as long as they possibly can and going out and getting bids and getting the best price they can, spending city money very wisely. Always appreciate that and look forward to 2016. Wish all the city staff a happy new year, and we'll see you in 16.
Commissioner Harrison.
Happy New Year.
Commissioner Carlisle.
Just want to wish everybody a happy new year and be safe.
Commissioner Martinez.
I want to thank the city crews for the recent snow removal job they did. I think they did a great job. They even had a person call up and tell me that Western Avenue was the best they've seen it in 5 years. So that's a change, that we hear something positive, you know, instead of all the negative stuff. I know we've had some sign issues being knocked down, and I think some of it's weather, but I think there's somebody out there that think that's a game to play. And we'll be watching for them, so you're not going to get away with it.
Got your sign, didn't they?
Yeah, even got my street. And appreciate what the staff has done during my short time here so far. They've done a good job, everybody. I think they're trying to make it work. So. And Happy New Year to everybody next year coming up.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Martinez. Again, I want to thank staff for an exceptional year. If you think back to January of 2015, and now fast forward to December of 2015, all the projects that have been accomplished, all the work that's been done, just a tremendous coming together of crews, working out of their comfort zone into different departments to make Liberal a better place. Excited for what 2016 holds, as we have several projects and things in the works. Ought to be an exciting year. Want to welcome aboard for their first 9 months our new commissioners. Just have 4 more years to go. So thanks to the Kansas legislature, you just at first it was your training ground. Now you've got 4 years to
Maybe we can get
continue
that changed in this next legislature.
to run with it. I do want to congratulate from Liberal's Police Department Corporal Russ Alms. Corporal Russ Alms will be leaving, or if he may have already have left our department, but he's accepted the position of Chief of Police in Harrington, Kansas. So we always hate to see somebody go, especially somebody, if you remember, Russ Alms was one of the officers that was being shot at by the person. So him and his wife and his 2 children will be moving to Harrington, Kansas. Wish them the best of luck. And like I said, even though we hate to see him go, anytime somebody can better themselves, we applaud that. So I want to wish him the best of luck in Harrington, Kansas. So thanks, staff, for the day-to-day grind. You guys do it. You make us look good up here. So thank you for that. And with that, Happy New Year to everyone. That's all that I have. Agenda item number 19 will be the vouchers.
I want to make a motion that we approve the vouchers in the amount of $942,241.12.
Motion by Vice Mayor Aragon to approve the vouchers. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Martinez. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all of those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.